Since his second-round TKO win over Paulo Costa at UFC 253, both Israel Adesanya and Jon Jones have been going back and forth on Twitter. Just recently, Jon Jones sent a number of tweets out and said he wants to break Israel Adesanya's neck. He posted this on his Twitter saying, "If we needed to fight that fight in the next 6 months, then I would be happy to do that. But again, shut the F up, y'all ain't doing." He followed up with fighter and coach mentioning my name in interviews but refused to sign the dotted line. Straight mention a man's dead mother over the internet but looking to fight Jared Cannonier. A fan tweeted at Jon Jones saying Israel Adesanya and Jon Jones should leave social media, sign the contracts with the UFC and fight. Jon Jones responded back saying, "I agree. Izzy mentions me in interviews on a monthly basis. The only time you hear from me is when I respond. It's no secret I want to break this clown's neck. He's hiding behind the internet and his coaches." With Paulo Costa still chasing a rematch with Israel Adesanya, Derek Brunson called out Paulo Costa for a fight. He posted this on his Twitter saying, "Has anyone seen or heard from Paulo Costa? Someone asked him if he's available for December 12th. With Khamzat Chimaev still without an opponent, he sent a message to Dana White. He posted this on his Twitter saying, "Welterweight, middleweight, doesn't matter, I will be ready, give me a name at Dana White." A 3-round flyweight bout between Brandon Moreno vs Brandon Royval has been targeted for UFC 255. Brandon Moreno is coming off a unanimous decision win over Jussier Formiga, and Brandon Royval is coming off a submission win over Kai Kara France. Michael Bisping on the Believe in Me podcast gives his thoughts on Conor McGregor organising a charity MMA match with Dustin Poirier.
Interesting. So he was willing to do it straight away in a charity, setup, if you will, but the actual real fight, yet to accept on that. No, that is interesting, but You got to give Conor, I kind of like what he did there. He said, "We'll do our own fight." Of course, they can't go out there and fight, but they could technically do a sparring match. I don't think there's any rules against that. And now, of course, people don't want to see a sparring match, but they can say, yeah, it's going to be a hard sparring match. It's almost going to be a fight. Well, sparring, you're just working together. You're trying to have a nice little spar. You're trying to get a work around. You're trying to work on some technique and things like that. A fight, you're trying to kill each other. But I'll tell you this, in a sparring environment, even if a few extra people just come into the gym and you don't know who they are, and sometimes they lean against the ring and they're just watching the sparring, you know about that. And the ego in the fighter says, "Oh, and if the guy connects you with one on you, you're like, I'm going to give him another back." Because you always do it. Every sparring session starts the same. Just nice and light. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're just going to work. And then you get caught with boom, and you give him one back. And they're like, okay, bang. And then give you one back. And then before you know it, you're having a full-on fight. And that's kind of what happens in a lot of sparring matches. And I guarantee if there was cameras there and there was press there and there was a bunch of people there and it was televised, for sure, that would be a fight and not a sparring match. First round, and it was good. It was a beautiful performance. He made it look easy, in fact. Dustin's got better, and that was at 145. Conor was at 145 as well, but Dustin used to struggle making 145, as did Conor, though, to be fair. But then the UFC dived in and said, "Well, if you guys want to fight, okay, here's a contract." It is a great fight. It's a great fight that a lot of people would want to see, It's certainly a better fight than him calling out Diego Sanchez, if I'm honest. I'd much rather see him fight Dustin Poirier. That's a legit fight.
Anthony Smith on Sirius XM says that Dominick Reyes needs to continue to get better, otherwise he's going to fall fast.
The first time Jon Jones runs into somebody who can match him athletically and match his size in his range, he's going to have problems. That guy was Dominick Reyes. He matched him physically, he matched his athletic ability, and Jon was able to squeak out at the end because he's a little bit better at managing range. I don't think that those guys are that far off from each other skill set wise. I think if you take Jan Blachowicz' skill set and you put it in Dominick Reyes' body, athletic ability, explosiveness, and power, I think you have a person that walks through Jon Jones. But that person doesn't exist. That's the problem. Jon is a gifted athlete. He's a freak. He's very, very smart. He's very intelligent. He was God-given gifts that he's done a tremendous job of maximizing. I just don't know that Dominick Reyes is deep enough of a thinker to realize that for himself. You got to be able to look in the mirror. I know who I am as a fighter. I know what my capabilities are. And I know what got me there. I'm not sure that Dominick's a deep enough thinker to realize that and figure out, like, all right, during this time off, I'm not going to walk around like I'm the uncrowned champion and just wait till I just get the, next up and just use whatever I did with Jon to beat this guy. Because Jon isn't the best fighter. He's not the best tactician in the division. Like, that skill set's different. So, like, you have to be a different person fighting Jan Blachowicz, or you got to be a different person fighting Alexander Rakic, or whoever the next guy is. If that's the skill set that he brings to the rest of his fights, me and him are going to be seeing each other pretty soon. Because, you know what I mean? Like, I lost 2 in a row. He's going to fall fast if he's not going to continue to get better. In order to do that, you got to be able to look in the mirror, and you got to be honest with yourself with what you see.
Five-day quarantine's officially over. It's 48 hours in Las Vegas, a day's travel, and then 48 hours here in Abu Dhabi. This is 5 days of quarantine pretty much. And finally got out of my room at about 11:30. Got a nice hour and a half lift with some cardio in. Time to go explore. It's fight week for the next 3 weeks. And I gotta cap this thing off. Working UFC 254, my first pay-per-view. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll keep you guys posted throughout the next 3 weeks with some behind-the-scenes action. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be here. Fight Island, baby. Let's go.
And Jermaine Durandamy at the UFC Fight Island 4 post-fight press conference speaks on a guillotine choke finish of a Juliana Pena.
Like I said, in the cage, I felt a little bit sloppy. I felt a little bit tight, but no matter what, she gave me her neck in the second round. She went for the guillotine. I think she lost a lot of air by doing that, and it wasn't tight. So, I've learned some lessons, and she gave me her neck. I told my coaches if she gives me her neck, I'm going to put her to sleep, and I felt her going out. I told Herzog, she's out, and he fell, and she was out. I think I was still a little bit too busy with the takedown, in the second round, because I just didn't want to make it a boring fight, so I wanted to stay light on the feet and don't get too tight, which made me a little bit tighter. But, at third round, I went in, and my coach told me it's 1-on-1. You got to put a little bit more pressure, and she went for the takedown, and I really practiced this because you have to shoot very low on my legs for you to get the takedown on me, and she did, and she gave me her neck, and I could count, and she went to sleep. The moment my arm went around her neck, I dropped. She didn't drop me, I dropped because I felt my arms in. I'm gonna put her to sleep. Like I said earlier to you this week, I honestly believe I have not gotten the respect I believe I deserved. I made history a couple times in my career, couple times, and I really did not get the respect. And I've seen in the past, if you're being a jerk, you get respect here in the UFC. I don't want to be a jerk. I want to stay true to myself, but I believe I deserve a little bit more respect for all I have done in my career. And there still has to come and do the things I do. And I'm 36 years old. I have a full-time job. I train besides having a full-time job, being a police officer. It's not easy. I'm getting older, and it's not easy, but I still do it. So I deserve a little bit more credit for that.